everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. My name is Millie and today I am creating this look here. It was inspired by a picture that I saw on Pinterest, and obviously that is a very sort of inspirational place to be, but I have so many pictures saved on my Pinterest of looks that I want to create, so I'm wanting to make this into a whole series, recreating Pinterest looks but with affordable products, with drugstore products, with things that I already own. So if that's something that you want to see, then you can subscribe down below because there will be loads more of these videos coming, I'm sure of it. But if you want to see how I created this beautiful, glamorous, flawless skin, glowy, bronzy, but with this beautiful eye look with the violet and blue under eye with a smoky gold lid, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start with the eyes. Obviously the look, and I'm going to keep it up on my phone throughout this whole creation of the look. It's very eye heavy. Everything else is really pared back, really nude, really flawless base, a really simple nude glossy lip. So I'm going to start with the eyes, and obviously it's mostly the under eyes, so I'm going to prime the eyelids first, do the brows, and then I'll do the lid, the base, then the under eye, the colourful, vibrant, violet, indigo under eye. I am so excited for this look. So I'm going in first with my eyeshadow primer. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer. This is a fantastic eyeshadow base. I really like it, and I also really like using this brush with it. This is the Real Techniques contour brush, and I just find that it fits into your eye socket really nicely. It blends everything out so easily, just makes that whole process really simple. So I'm just going to quickly do my brows. I'm using the XX Revolution Faux Brow and the e.l.f. Wow Brow, so I'll be right back when I've got some brows on my head. So strong brows are on, obviously we're here for it. I love a strong brow. So the gold portion of this eye look is going to be the Warrior by Juvias palette. I love this palette. It's fantastic for those warm golden tones, and this look is quite shimmery as well, so I definitely want to incorporate some of the beautiful shimmers that are in this. So I'm going to start with, I like mixing the shades together, especially in this palette. I like sort of dipping into two and then mixing it in the blank space on the palette. So I'm going to go in with Ahosi and Kano, these two shades here, mixing those together on the brush. Both of these are matte shades. Mixing them together and then just dabbing into the blank space on the palette, just to really get that colour sort of into the brush in a fluffy brush. And then I'm just going to start sort of working that through the crease and starting that shape. So that's the base colour down. I love how those two shades mix together. It's just a really beautiful warm golden shade. So now I'm going to go in, do the same technique, dipping into both. I'm actually going to take a slightly smaller brush, smaller but still very fluffy sort of shading buffing brush, and I'm going to do the same technique, but I'm going to dip into this shade and then this shade, again backwards and forwards, and then into the side of the palette to mix those both together on the brush and start building up that colour on the outer corner, again in the shape that we want. So I'm going to hold my brush really far back and start at the outer corner of the eye and just flick outwards, and then once I've got that colour down and there's less on my brush, I'm going to start taking this through the crease a little bit and blending that colour with what we've already got on there. So now I'm just going in with that darkest Mino shade, just right on the outer corner, and I'm just keeping this mostly on the lid, taking it up to the crease but not past it, and just making it a little bit deeper on that outer corner, and then going in with a clean brush and just blending that through. I think I'll go in with the centre shade, which is Moremi, and if I feel like I want a bit more of a darker shade on like the lid and the outer corner, I'll go in with this one, Dahomey, on the bottom corner, so the centre one and this one. And I'm going to just apply these with my finger because that's the best way to get this glittery pigment on. And it's so pretty. So that is just that centre shade, Moremi, and I love that, but I think I need something a touch warmer further in, so the Dahomey shade I will just sort of tap over the centre like so, and then just with the same tiny fluffy brush I'll dip into Dahomey and just blend all of those edges. Yes, I'm very happy with that. So that's all I'm using the Juvias palette for. So I will just put that to one side, and I will take a cotton pad with some micellar water on and just swipe all the way along and sharpen up the outer corner like so. So I will just soften those lines a little bit because that looked quite harsh. So for primer, I'm using the Collection Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish. This is in the shade Fair 1. And I'm just going to hop this all over because her skin looks quite glowy, like, but quite naturally glowy, not just from highlight. And that's the problem with doing your brows first. Yeah, I do struggle to get round them. So I had originally brought this foundation over, the Filter Finish foundation from B, but I think, yeah, that's definitely going to be too light, so I've just pulled this one out instead. The Revolution Conceal and Hydrate foundation, which definitely is a better shade for me. This is F4. Yes, that's a better colour. I didn't realise how pale that Filter Finish one was. So I'm just going to bounce this in with my EcoTools Beauty Sponge. I haven't used this foundation in the longest time, and I really like it. It's glowy. I mean, it will also be the primer, but this is a lot more glowy than I remember it. Why have I not used this in so long? This looks beautiful. I'm just having to like force myself to not use the IRL filter in every video, like every single video. I'm the worst, I know, but it's so pretty. But this one is also very, very nice. I would say this is slightly less coverage and slightly glowier than the IRL. That looks really nice. Right, for concealer, I am using the Collection Lasting Perfection Hydrating Serum Concealer. This is very, very pale, so I will just use it sparingly, and I am using that same brush so that I can get round all of that work that we've already done. I'm going to just lightly set down the centre of the face because on that inspiration picture she wasn't that like glowy, like down the centre. It was a very targeted glow. So I'm just going to use the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Pressed Powder and a small brush, and I'm just going to put that down the centre of the face where I've put that concealer, but also sort of across the forehead a little bit, down the nose, all the areas you don't want to look too shiny. I'm going in with the XX Revolution Cream Bronzer in the shade Inspire. I'm also going to take this really lightly down the sides of the nose. I can definitely see some soft nose contour. I'm not about the nose contour life. I have tried it a million times and I always just look muddy, but with this cream bronzer, because it's such a light shade, it's really easy to do that step. For blush, I'm going in with a powder blush. This is the Revolution Ultra Blush palette in Sugar and Spice. And I think that this shade here is the closest in my collection to what the model is wearing. Obviously, it's really, really subtle. It's a really light flush and it's further in than I would normally do it as well. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that, tap off the brush, just tap it over the cheeks. Make sure that it's blended into that bronzer that we've got on. I really like that combination of colours. I think that looks really, really nice. So I'm just going to put on a little bit of highlight. This is the Revolution Highlighter Reloaded in Just My Type. It's my favourite highlighter. I use it all the time and I'm not even sorry. I'm just going to use a small amount of that, swirl it off in the lid so that it's not too intense, and just tap that over the cheeks a little bit. It's like I say, she is glowy, but it is quite targeted. She doesn't look like sweaty in the centre of her face. It is just sort of, you can see it catching the light on the top of her cheeks, and it's like a warm glow. It is also on her nose and on her chin, which I feel like is a strange place to put highlight, but that's why she looks glowy, so I'm doing it as well. So when I was looking through my collection and thinking what I would use for that really bright violet sort of under eye, there really was only one palette that I thought I could use for that. It's obviously the Beauty Bay Midnight palette. And I think that this shade down here, Iris, will be perfect for this. Now let me look, does that, I think that joins up with the outer corner on the top lid, and then obviously there's a liner and we'll get to that. I'm going to go in with that Iris shade on, this is like a flat brush, and I'm going to tap off the excess, look up into my palette, my mirror that's on the palette, and stamp that along the lower lash line. I'm going to take that denim colour, the other matte darker shade, on a small fluffy brush, and I'm going to just blend out the edges of that with that blue shade, because there is a very blue undertone to that inspiration picture. I really like that. Right, back into the Iris shade, and I'm just going to keep on building this up and blending it out until I'm happy with how all of that's looking. So I'm happy with that purple blue combination. It's also shimmery on the lower lashes, so on the lower lash line, sorry. So I'm going to go in with this centre shade, which is called Electric, and that's exactly what it is. It's incredible. And I'm going to take this on a brush or on my finger. I think I'm going to try it on my finger, and I'm just going to tap this very close along that purple that we've already got on. That shimmer is so pretty. It's got like blue, I mean you won't be able to see because it's just the tiniest little touch, but it's got such dimension in the glitter. It's got like the blues and the purples all mixed in. The only thing is, I feel like it's looking quite mucky on the inner corner, but that might look okay once I've got the rest of everything else on. On the upper lash line, there's a wing, and it's a big wing, and it's very pointy, and it's very dramatic, but I also think it's been smoked out with a bit of like black eyeshadow or something like that, but I will do the liquid liner first. This is the Revlon Colorstay Sharp Line, just in black. So I'm going to try and do two identical wings. So that's the liquid liner done. I'm now going to go in with a pencil. This is the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Black Fever, and I'm going to do this in the lower waterline and the upper waterline to make this really, really like dark and intense. So that's before and after. It definitely looks more dramatic with that dark in the waterline as well. Obviously it makes your eyes look a little bit smaller, but it is sort of that smoky vibe that this look is all about. Yes, instantly that has changed the vibe of that whole look, hasn't it? So we obviously need some dramatic lashes. This is the e.l.f. Big Mood mascara, and this is like on its last legs now, this mascara, so it's going to be like extra clumpy, extra thick, all of those good things. I cannot do lashes, so this is my equivalent of like putting on a really dramatic pair of lashes. So that mascara has just finished off the eyes so nicely. I love how this looks. I'm just going to tap a little bit of a highlighter sort of over like this area here on the lid, because I want that a little bit brighter. So I'm going in with the Goddess of Love Triple Baked Highlighter, and it also says Goddess of Faith, so I get confused with this one. I don't know which is the actual shade, but I'm just going to take a little bit of that on a fluffy brush and tap it just in there to brighten that up a little bit. So you can see the difference there, where I've just put that highlighter on that inner corner and where I haven't. I feel like that's made a really big difference. Yes, it's just brightened it back up again. I like that. So I just want to go over my brows a little bit. I think I coloured those in a little bit with that foundation. So I'm just going to do a few little hair strokes in the front just to bring these back to life a little bit. Yes, so I feel like that looks a little bit better. I just lost a few of those little hairs that I put on the inner corner. So for the lips, I'm obviously going in with my Rimmel Rose Addiction pencil, and then I think before I go in with the gloss, I'm going to just go over with the sponge, because her lips are pretty much the same colour as her skin. Really nude, but very glossy. So I'm going in with this. This is the Revolution Pro Hydra Gloss in the shade Tainted, and I think that this will just be the perfect combination. That is, that's beautiful. So I think I just want a little bit more bronzer, and then I think I'm done. I really like how this has turned out. Right, I just need a powder bronzer. I'm going to go in with this one. This is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade Medium Cool 200. I just want a little bit of this. Where's my brush? Just to, even though it's medium cool, it is still a bronzer. It is still warm. So I just want to warm everything up really. Yes, that looks better with just a little pop of bronzer. A lot, but I think that looks better with slightly bronzer skin. It just brings out the colour in the eyeshadow and everything. Yeah, I think I'm done. So I love how this has turned out. I so rarely do a colourful under eye like this, but obviously when I saw that inspiration picture, I knew that I was all about it. I love blue, and I feel like this, obviously this is like bluey and purpley, but I feel like this just makes the colour more wearable, makes it really sort of subtle, but obviously this is in a very glam way. I really like how this has turned out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know if you recreate this look. I think it is beautiful. I love how this has turned out. So if you have any other Pinterest looks that you want to see me recreate but with drugstore affordable products, then please send them over to me on Instagram. I am wanting to make this into a whole series because I've enjoyed the last two of these so much that I have filmed. So let me know if you have any other ideas. If you want to see any more Pinterest inspired makeup looks, then be sure to subscribe because I'm sure there's going to be a ton coming. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye!